in it. I was doing okay. And I also had a really, really inspiring teacher at A level. That's the final year of English school anyway. Is called A level. I had a really amazing, like one of those life-changing teachers who really makes you think about what you want to do, and he really inspired me to go on and study philosophy more, because I was enjoying learning it. And if you enjoy learning about it and it's what you really want to study, then I mean, you should go for it, man. And if you're not really very sure, then talk to some other people who are doing a philosophy degree. You know, like me, you can always send messages to me or some of your mates who are doing philosophy degrees, and then think about the other things you might want to do, and talk to people and teachers who teach that as well, and you know, compare stories and see what you like. You mentioned that you're in Switzerland, and in Switzerland doing a humanities degree can often be looked down on. I don't know, I don't really know how it is in Switzerland. You'll have to, you know, come and make your own decision off the back of that. But, you know, you shouldn't really let other people or concerns about the future dictate what you want to study. I mean, if you want to study something because you're interested in it, then that's enough of a reason to do it. I mean, obviously you need to give a little bit of thought about your future and what's going to get you a job and let you live in the lifestyle that you want to live. But if you start thinking about what's going to look good on my resume all the time, then you're never going to really have any fun with it. And you want to study something and become an expert in it if it really intrigues you and you really like hearing about it. So if you want to study philosophy, I'd say go for it, man. It's a really rewarding experience, and if it's going to make you happy, then you should do what makes you happy. David SF messaged me on Twitter and said, I love your philosophical videos. Thanks a lot. I'm really enjoying them, and I'm really looking forward to the next videos. Thank you, David, for sending me that. That's really kind, just a little say hello. Thank you for that. That's really, really nice. I don't know what I'm doing with my life says, I love this channel. It deserves a lot more subscribers. And HijackerJapak7 says, keep up with your videos. They're really good. Thank you very much to both of you. I know you, HijackerJapak7, have said in the comments before that you like the little jokes that come in the videos as well. I'm glad somebody takes notice of the effort I go to make the videos entertaining as well as educational. So you're very welcome, both of you. Thank you for writing in. That's really kind of you. All these really nice things that you guys are sending in and saying about me. It's very flattering of you. I didn't want to just leave them in my inbox. You know, I wanted to go through and acknowledge them and say thank you to you all. Sam Burns says, I really appreciate how altruistic you're being, sharing all this learning with the world for free. Well, you know, I don't think it's just me standing on high lecturing you guys. I think we're learning about these things together. You know, it's a combined effort. It's all of us learning about these topics and educating ourselves. I mean, and doing this channel with you guys really, really helps me with my studies, to be honest. I had an exam today, actually, and one of the questions was asking me about the stuff that I was talking about in the Doctor Who philosophy episode, and I was able to bring that in like really interesting examples and say, and talk about the philosophy of Doctor Who. And one of the questions, you could tell YouTube's on my mind, like one of the questions asked me for an example of a necessary a posteriori statement, and I kind of had a bit of a blank and ended up writing as my example, Felix Kjellberg is PewDiePie, and then writing an essay defending how that statement was both a posteriori and also a necessary truth. I don't know, some examiner somewhere is going to be like, I have no idea what this is talking about. Very good, A star. Jonathan EF says, it's really hard to find great philosophy stuff on YouTube, and your channel is one of my favourites. So thank you very much. Thank you, Jonathan EF, that's really kind. He also says, can you recommend any other resources on the internet for learning about philosophy? Well, there are a few other philosophy channels dedicated to, a few other YouTube channels dedicated to philosophy. Also online you'll find the Internet Encyclopedia of Philosophy and the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy. They are quite technical, maybe a little bit dry. I don't know what stage of your philosophical learning you're at. They are like encyclopedias, but they are written and maintained by actual professional philosophers. So it's a lot more reliable than just going on Wikipedia and reading about a philosophical problem, because they actually give step-by-step breakdowns of arguments and kind of really try and make it explicitly clear. But those are a little bit dry, so maybe that's not your cup of tea. Some of the original philosophical texts, the classics, are all online, because after the copyright to something expires, they can all be put online for free. So you'll find a lot of Kant online, a lot of Hume online, and the ancients as well, Aristotle and Plato, you'll find those too. So if you wanted to actually learn more about philosophy on the internet, you could just read some philosophy. I know that you maybe don't have a lot of time, but Plato's dialogues are usually pretty short, like the Euthyphro dialogue, which we did an episode on way back. you could read that in half an hour. It's really easy. I'd recommend starting with Plato, actually, because his style's very easy and kind of informal and pretty cool to understand, and it's kind of gentle questioning and invites you to do some of the thinking yourself. Then maybe when you've kind of got a bit more comfortable with it, you could try some Hume. Hume's fairly easy as philosophers go. It might take you a couple of pages just to get into it, just to get the feel for the kind of language he uses. But yeah, Hume would be a good place to start. Some of his shorter essays, not his longer books. But yeah, I mean, if you wanted to learn about philosophy on the internet, as well as watching Philosophy Tube, obviously, and being a dedicated philosopher fan, you could actually just read some philosophy. Maximilian SvenSson says, keep up the good work. You too, Maximilian SvenSson. That is an awesome name. Jim Groth says, it's been really fun to see you go from brand new to this. I am super happy for you. Well, thank you very much, Jim Groth. That's really kind. I know that you have actually been here since the beginning. In fact, I just checked the YouTube subscriber list for Philosophy Tube. Jim Groth, you were the first subscriber to Philosophy Tube. So now that we've passed 1,000, I think you deserve a little prize for that, for being the first person to formally believe in Philosophy Tube. So, Jim Groth, if you send me your address in a little inbox message, I will send you a small token of my appreciation. I will send you a prize to say thank you for being the first of a wonderful group of subscribers who are growing all the time. Just so this episode of Behind the Scenes with Olly isn't just me stroking my ego and saying thank you to all you guys for all the nice things you've been saying, there is an actual practical ethical discussion that we could talk about, because Mad Hatter himself has sent me an article from Denmark asking, should we lie to kids about Santa Claus? It's kind of a seasonal topical thing with Christmas going up. Is it okay for us to tell kids that there's a Santa Claus when really there isn't? I'm not really sure what to think about this. I would say that, children understand the difference between fact and fiction. People say that if you tell them lies about Santa Claus, it might confuse them about what's imaginary and what's real. I don't think so. Children know what's imaginary and what's real. If you read them a story at bedtime, they know it's not true. So if them finding out that Santa's not real isn't gonna make them go, oh my god, what if I'm living in the Matrix, and what if it's all a lie? What else have you not told me? I don't think, or I don't remember doing that. I don't think that's gonna really be that much of a problem. You might say that it's just not okay to lie to your kids, no matter what the circumstances. Immanuel Kant certainly thought that it was never, ever, ever okay to lie to anyone under any circumstances. Maybe nowadays we'd probably think, well, it probably depends on the consequences of the lie. If you lying to your child about the existence of Santa Claus is going to make them really excited and make them really happy, and make you happy as well when you see how happy they are, and kind of really make a nice traditional Christmassy feeling in the depths of your heart, then maybe telling that lie might even be a good thing if it brings about good consequences. Some people might say it teaches children to be nice just for the sake of getting presents and not for moral reasons. It's like bribing them to be good, and that's not okay. Well, I guess whether or not you think that's okay probably depends on what sort of view you have of morality. Aristotle would certainly say that it's okay to make children be good by habit when they're kids, to teach them, be good and you'll get presents, and don't be bad or you'll be punished, so that they acquire the habits of virtue, so that they acquire the character traits of being a good person and continue to practice them. Because, kids probably don't understand many of the moral reasons behind why people act the way they do. It's difficult to make children understand the complex facets of morality. So maybe it's okay to tell children, be good and you'll get presents, so that they get into the habit of being good. And then when they grow up, they're like, oh, well, when I was a kid, I was only good because I didn't want to be punished and because I wanted Santa to reward me. But now I understand, and now that I've acquired the habits of virtue, it's easier for me to be a good person because of that. So I reckon your outlook on that question probably going to depend on how you view morality, and a great deal on how you view child psychology as well. Are there any parents out there who want to weigh in on this discussion? I'm keen to defer to parents on this issue because I don't have any kids myself and I wasn't particularly planning on it, so I don't think that this is going to be an issue that I really have to deal with. But if you're out there and if you're a philosopher fan with kids and you're gearing up for Christmas, are you going to be telling them about Santa? Why not? I think statistically a lot of people do, but are you? And what are your reasons for doing that? And did you think at any point that it might not be okay to lie to them? Let me know what you think. I'm interested to hear what parents out there think. Well, thank you, Mad Hatter himself, for sending in that discussion all the way from Denmark. And since you are in Denmark, I will say, Hej og tak betragtende. those are all the messages that I've got time to go through this time on Behind the Scenes with Olly. Thank you very much for